Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video, we're going to talk about ski areas that are closing. Now, of course, the headline says that it is, a victim to climate change. This is 2 days ago. Today's March 4th, 2024. But they say that in this season, the T-bar lift has not been open once. And, in the past, many families have, spent happy days there. And people invested into this place because they figured it was, a prosperous place. And right here, they say here's a thriving resort, But now, things are changing. This could just be this year, but right here, this is January 31st, 2024. Now, this is outside of Vancouver. Three ski areas, ski hills near Vancouver closed on Wednesday. Amid an extended period of extremely warm and wet weather that is wreaking havoc on local snow enthusiast plans. So, Grouse Mountain, Cypress Mountain, both its downhill and cross-country skiing were shut down because of heavy rain and decreasing snowpack. So, and then there's a Mount Seymour that was also closing on Wednesday. And this has been prevalent. Here's another January 27th, 2024 article right here in British Columbia, Mount Timothy. Yeah, they blame the lack of snow and warm temperatures and no precipitation in the forecast. So this is right here. It says again outside of Metro Vancouver. So a lot going on up in BC, and it's happening in Montana too. This is February 14th, 2024, and there's a ski area outside of Chateau, Choteau, and it is the Teton Pass ski area. Okay, the Teton Pass ski area. Here's another headline: Teton Pass is forced to close halfway through the season after worst snow in 55 years. As El Nino brings warmer weather. Well, they've survived some other El Ninos, so. Right now, this is just taking the next step. And remember, protect our winners. They put themselves in business to save our ski area, and yet their head environmental guy. He was on the board forever, Auden Schindler, who was also the senior vice president of sustainability at Aspen Skiing Company. It's the headline: "We're failing terribly." Okay, and this was December 25th, 2021, and here is January 10th, 2022. Yahoo article, and of course, even though he admits that he's a complete failure, people don't really seem to catch on to that because they keep going to him for statements. And so he says here that if you cut off the last 2 weeks of March, you basically aren't a viable business. So he's talking about the ski area that they break even and then make their money in the last 2 weeks of March, which is probably true. Everybody in ski areas, I've been around them for too long now, And like any business, probably anywhere, you go so long and you cover your expenses, and then at the end you eke out a little bit of a living. Right here he says, you rake in your annual profit at the end of March, and that's exactly when they're getting squeezed. So, this was after he admitted that he's a complete failure. And so maybe now that's part of the reason why these ski areas are closing. But, the thing is, people still go to him to talk to him because he's Auden Schindler. He has a name, and they can't figure out he's a complete proven failure. And he says right here, when we talk about sustainability, we're talking about being in business forever. Well, he's done a really lousy job of that. This right here, it goes to this podcast here, Travel Beyond Sustainability, looks like this. And the thing is, they don't have any contact to get in touch with them. I was like, wow, I should let them know that there's actual solutions for the ski industry. But here, of course, what did they do? It says right here, in this episode of the Travel Beyond podcast, they sit down with Auden Schindler, Senior Vice President of Sustainability at Aspen Skiing Company, to discuss the journey towards adopting sustainable values and big business practices, along with some incredible examples of positive change. Sustainability is a big topic to tackle, but this episode provides a digestible and thought-provoking conversation. So I doubt that. Auden's been on the job for 30 years, and he's proven himself an absolute complete failure. He could not possibly provide a thought-provoking conversation. And if you've been around here before, you know that Auden and his friends over here, where he used to sit on the board at Not Protecting Our Winners, these people hate environmental solutions as much as every environmental voice out there, if you've seen my videos. But, one thing they all do agree on is they absolutely will not allow solutions. And, this comes, from Vail, where the environmental educator started in Vail. Right here, November 93, 30 years ago. And actually, I remember when, I don't know if it was Vail Resorts at the time, if they went from Vail Associates to Vail Resorts, after I got a free ski pass by Chris Ryman, a vice president of something, at the beginning of the season, when I was like, hey, let's lead, and then they wouldn't do anything, wouldn't even meet with me. And at the end of the season, Chris called me in for a meeting. I was like, really? And his assistant, Chris something, and she was like, yeah, he wants to talk to you. Well, Chris didn't show up, but Joe Macy did. And Joe Macy basically told me that Aspen has a think tank, and I should go work at the think tank, the Aspen Institute, which, is New World Order owned, and they could care less about solutions too. And I was like, Joe, did you just tell me to leave town? Like, why don't we lead here in Vail? Why are you sending me somewhere we could start our own think tank? We could lead here, because had Vail led, then, people would not be clamoring to have Auden on, their podcast and thinking that he's providing thought-provoking conversation. He doesn't have the ability to. And we would have actually implemented solutions that maybe, if this is because of global warming, that these ski areas are closing, we would have solved the problem. And, it's not just the ski areas. It's the whole community. When Workers, when guests aren't coming, even though in ski towns, every tourist town, the tourists, there's lots of jokes to be made about the tourists, but everybody does know that they are the bread and butter. And most tourists are really nice people. Some tourists give tourists a bad name, and those are the ones that we make fun of. But it really it shuts down communities. These ski areas, Big Sky. I mean, that's what Big Sky is, 4 ski areas. Okay, it's that they drive the entire community, and when people aren't coming, they're not renting condos. Even like at Lake Tahoe right now this year, due to the economy, I'm hearing that a lot of people from California, they're going out for the day, and they might go and they might have, burgers and a beer at a restaurant on the way home, but it's not the more upscale meal they used to have. And then they used to go home to, their rental because they went for the weekend. No, now they're driving for the day and they're eating, a lower level meal. So it affects everything when ski areas have to close. And why are they closing? Oh, that's right. Because as Auden Schindler said back here in December 2021, we're failing miserably. That is his quote. And yet people still go to him. And yet no one, including Vail, to this day, I just had a big round with them when they had a pretend conference. They got ski areas together. We're going to leave. We need bold ideas. I'm like, have you forgotten what you've been refusing for 30 years? And of course, they're not going to go and correct all their incorrect statements, and I've emailed them and a bunch of the participants there, and nobody can care about solutions. So we are failing miserably. And it's all because the people that are in control here won't allow solutions. And that's why people like the absolute fool that is Auden Schindler has a job for 30 years and gets press. So stay tuned, people.